What's up, everybody? I wanted to give a update on my radio installation of my Slingshot. My garage is filthy, I know. Let me get my light here, if I can find it. Okay, here we go. I ultimately decided in mounting the camera right here. I got a zip tied on there right now, just playing around with fitment. I didn't want to screw anything in or nothing like that. It's just, in my opinion, kind of like the cleanest looking spot. Once I route that wire, clean it up, it's gonna, really not gonna see it. It's gonna look pretty factory. I thought about drilling it in the plastic piece that goes up here, because the factory backup camera is actually right here, but that's pretty high to me. I like this one. I can really aim it down. It's black right here too, so it's kind of blends in better. I got like full adjustment back here. Yeah, so basically what I did, I tapped into this headlight. I used a relay to trigger my radio because my radio needs a positive trigger. It's a cheaper radio. If you have something like a Pioneer or like some of the Alpines, JVCs, you can switch the camera input trigger or camera trigger, whatever you call it, from positive to negative. And if it was negative, I could have just simply tapped into this wire, ran it up there, been good. But of course mine is positive, so I had to use a relay to basically convert the negative trigger into a positive. And then I tapped into the factory backup camera power wiring, and it comes up there, which I'll show you in a minute, but I tapped that into that. So the only wire I really had to run was the video cord, so kind of saved a lot of hassle. I gotta run some RCAs anyway, so I'll be down there. I powered the camera off that same thing. I grounded it to the frame. So yeah, that's all buttoned up. All I really had to do was pop the bracket off and then pop this, whatever you want to call this bottom plastic off. And that gives you room to do all that. So right now, obviously it's a shit show of wires, for lack of a better term. For my antenna, I'm using something like this. It sticks on. I'm gonna stick it like to the bottom of the windshield or something like that. It's decent. It's not great. You'll get local stations. You're not gonna get, HD radio quality, but I'm really not ever gonna use FM, so it's just kind of like a more if my phone's dead or something like that. I got another option for music. I still have not trimmed this out. Just trying to remember everything I've done so far. This radio I like because it comes with this little tiny remote, but it clips onto the steering wheel. And you got, your basic stuff right here, so when you're driving, you can move it really wherever you want, but that uses this little receiver, which I'm gonna hide back there since I'm putting it right here. What else? Oh, I got a Bluetooth mic. I like this one too. My Pioneers never come with the wind reduction filter thingy, whatever you want to call this. That really helps in a windy conditioner if you got your windows open, which there's no roof, there's no windows, there's no doors, so that's gonna help. I'm gonna mount that like way back here. You can't see it when you're driving. So it'll be up there. I can't get it up there with one hand because the wire bends, but you're not gonna see it, and I'll keep it protected, if it rains or I wanna wash this thing out or something like that. Radio-wise, here's my radio. It is the XD CPA 9BT. It's from Dual. It's about $200 at Walmart. I got this one on eBay for a little over $100, brand new. Box was open, but it was brand new. I really like the features. It's a basic radio, but it's nice. It's got a really nice screen. I like the user interface is a big one for me. Like what it looks like, which is, this one's pretty nice. This one does have CarPlay and Android Auto, which is cool. Bluetooth audio, backup camera, FM, AM, auxiliary inputs, video inputs. I think it's got video outputs, but obviously I don't need that in this thing. One really cool thing I just found out about this. Look how fast this turns on. I'm gonna turn the key on right now. Nope, I lied. Hang on. I lied. wires are kind of like just barely hanging together right now, so sometimes when I get in and out it disconnects. But watch this. So that's what it does. Like if you disconnect power completely, which happens because that wire harness is kind of just dangling there. So I'm gonna turn it off. Now watch, I'm gonna turn my key on right now. That thing is up and ready to go that quick. There's no boot screen, there's no splash screen, there's no waiting, there's no menus to clear out. I really like this thing. And like Pioneer, you'd have to buy a bypass to do some of the features. I'm sure it's the same with like Alpine and JVC, the higher end models. This one doesn't have a DVD player, no disc changer, nothing like that. You go home, you see you got radio, USB, Bluetooth phone, Bluetooth music, Android Auto, CarPlay, iPod, settings, auxiliary, and a rear camera. It's real basic, but it's nice at the same time. Like it's got a nice clean looking screen. You can go like that. It's really responsive. There's really not any delay. Like it's more responsive than my $400 or $500 Pioneers. So subwoofer settings, display. All you really got display is just basically brightness, time settings, miscellaneous, beep tones, camera, programmable volume. Don't really know what that is, but it's really responsive, and the screen is really glossy. Like it's not flat, which some people like better. I like this one. I don't know, it looks like a picture, I guess. It's almost like fake looking, if that makes sense. And then down here, I believe you got your Siri or Google Assistant, whatever you call it. You hit that, if your phone's connected. Volume down and up right here. Power and mute. If you hold this, it'll shut the radio off. Turn it right back on, and then up here you got mode. And it's got nice looking screensavers too. If you got like your phone plugged in, or like something plugged in through the 3.5mm auxiliary input, you don't just have a black or a blue screen. Like you got something that looks nice in the dash. I think mode goes between. Yeah, it must be your available ones right now. Like if I plugged my phone in or I had it connected to Bluetooth, it would cycle through the other ones. So go to that. FM's not the nicest one to look at, but it's not bad. It's got kind of like a blue gradient. It's, like I said, it's really responsive. Like I said, I don't get any service in here because my garage is pretty thick and just crappy. I'm assuming that's why, but don't want to get in trouble with copyright stuff. But yeah, like I said, this radio is great. I'm gonna turn it off. Let me turn the volume on too. Hopefully I don't get copyright stuff, but got it off. And this, I have an amp too. This radio comes on quicker than the amp. Nope, see, I lied. It still comes on quick, and if it's doing this, you shift in reverse, you still get your backup camera right away. But like I said, it's only doing that because it's wiring. Watch, I can kind of move the radio and it's, yep. So that's why it's doing that. But you saw how quick it booted up when I showed you the one time. But I'll show you the backup camera right now. Like I said, this was a base model. All I had was the little cubby thing right here. No screen, no factory backup camera, no factory anything. But what you do, when you pop this open, you got these two connections. You got this one, and you'll have to buy this piece. That obviously gives you, I mean, if you want, I just wanted something to not have to splice in a bunch of wiring, if I ever want to return to stock and sell it or something like that. But this harness is like 15 bucks, and it gives you your constant, your switch ignition, and your ground. But this harness right here is for the factory backup camera. If you have a factory one, it's gonna have more wires in it, and you can actually buy a plug that will give you the composite, the yellow plug to plug in the back of your radio. I don't have it, which means I just have this black and white, or this black and red wire that are unused, and those go all the way to the back where I showed you where the backup camera would be on the stock one. I just tapped into the red one, which you can see right here. I just got a wire shoved in there because I'm just basically testing everything right now still. And then I'm gonna shift into reverse. backup camera comes on. You know, works with brake lights, don't affect it, blinkers don't affect it. Shift out of reverse. Boom. And your music will still play. So that's always cool. But I'll show you this. Hopefully it'll work now this time. Turn it off. Turn it back on right now. Boom. That quick. So, radio's really up to you, but this is just, you know, my build, my progress, you know, give you ideas. Feel free to ask questions, you know. The only reason it's not in there right now is because I still need to seal this off. If you can see, that is your engine. That's your coolant. Your transmission is right down there. So this cubby gets hot. So basically I need to build a wall, so to speak. You know how to build a wall. Need to insulate it, and then the radio will be in there. And I gotta trim this. No radio is gonna fit in here without trimming that. The dash kit doesn't fit without trimming that. But the beauty of it is you're only trimming this stuff. You're not cutting like the older ones where you gotta cut the dash open and all that. So trimming this stuff, if you ever want to go to your factory cubby again, like if you're selling it or parting it out, that stuff will go right back in. You'll never know it was modified. So that's a little bonus. I think that's about it. Down here, I think either right here or right here, I'm gonna do a little, like a cigarette outlet looking thing, but it's gonna have a USB port which will be the one from the radio. So if I wanna do like CarPlay, I can plug my phone in because I'm gonna have a phone mount somewhere up here eventually. But yeah, I think that's about it. Like I said, the thing's been pretty simple to wire so far. It's taken time because you got to take panels apart and pull stuff off, but the wiring itself has been pretty straightforward. No gimmicks. You know, nothing weird. Literally, if you're just doing a radio and you're not doing a backup camera, you can throw a radio in 20 minutes. Now it's gonna, you know, vary if you got speaker pods that you're wiring up and all that, but I already had speakers wired up. I've got these upper speaker pods, and then down here I just got some 6x9s in a box, which I'm gonna get rid of, but those will be replaced with front pods most likely. But I've already got an amp under the seat. It's just a little power acoustic razor. I'm probably gonna replace that one because I actually pulled that out of one of my cooler radio builds. I'm probably gonna put the Marine one I found at Walmart. It's only like 90 bucks. I believe it's the same wattage. And so, you know, obviously this one's elevated. I got it lifted off the ground. So if water gets down there, you know, it won't sit on it or nothing like that. But I would like one that was Marine rated, just, you know, for the hot days and weather and cold and rain and anything like that that gets down there. But yeah, sorry, of course I went rambling on again. If you got any questions, feel free to comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.